The artist for the letter U is Walter Ufer. He was in advertising and worked for Oscar Mayer hot dogs, creating advertisements that sometimes took him away from his hometown of New York City. An exciting place at night, but during the day, often the large buildings shadowed the streets, leaving only a small glimmer of the sky. So when he got off the plane on assignment in New Mexico, he was fascinated by the sky, the bright light, the deep shadows, the way that the Native Americans lived so much more simply than the city. The contrast of the mountains against the bright blue sky. He stayed there for the rest of his life and never went back to the city. Here's the artwork we will duplicate today. Okay, boys and girls, the first step is to find the center of our paper. Once you find the center of your paper, we just want to make a laying down line across the center of a paper. That is going to be the back of our horse. All right, now we're going to make an angle line or a diagonal that goes from this side and it kind of points toward the corner of our paper. It's not going to go that far. We're not making a giraffe. We're just making a horse. So there's the top of our horse's neck. Now we can make a capital A up here to be one of our horse's ears. And now to come down to his mouth, I want you to think like letter J. So I'm going to start right here at the bottom of the ear. I'm going to make another diagonal line that goes this way, almost like here I'm making a capital A. So I'm going to come down almost to the edge of my paper and give it a hook like a J. Inside the hook, I'm going to put a straight line to show where the horse's mouth is. And I'm going to color in a dot for the horse's nose. When we see a horse from the side, it's just like when we see us from the side. We only have one nose hole and one eye. So up by the ear, we'll do a rainbow line for the top of the eye. And we'll do a smile line for the bottom of the eye. You can color it in. Horses have really long eyelashes if you want to give them an eyelash. Now, even though we made a capital A for one of the ears, on the other side of our horse's head, he'll have a smaller ear because it's farther away. So now that looks kind of like a capital M. Underneath the eye, a horse has a jaw that's curved, so we're going to make a smile here and then connect that to our J. Good job. Now, right in the middle of that smile, we're going to come all the way down, almost to the bottom of the paper. At the bottom of a horse's leg, he doesn't have a foot. He has a hoof. So here, I will make a little rectangle and color it in to be my horse's hoof. Now, from the other side of that rectangle, we'll go up. And that horse's leg, it gets bigger and stronger on the way to the top. So I let my lines get farther apart. Now, another laying down line that's kind of like a smile for the horse's belly. Good job. Now, horses, kind of like cats and dogs, they show us their hip in the middle of their leg. So we're going to make a backward C. It starts inside the body of the horse and ends under the belly. Good job. And now, down to the ground. We want these legs to be kind of the same length. And then remember what's on the bottom of a horse's leg. It's a hoof. Good job. We'll go up the other side of the hoof, right till we get to that bend. Nice job. We want to go in a little bit, almost like we made a number 7. Not very much though, just a little. Then we'll curve it around to his back. It's a funny horse when it doesn't have a tail. So you can use the same color you're drawing with to make your tail, or you might want to change your color. Right now our horse really only has 2 legs, and that looks a little bit funny. So I'm going to add a number 11 right back here, put a hoof on the bottom. So my horse has 2 front legs. And now to give him 2 back legs, I'm also going to add a number 11 back here with a hoof on the bottom. Good job. I'm going to change colors now and get a blue because my cowboy is going to be wearing some blue jeans. So before we color in the horse, we want to draw the rider. Right up here in the middle of his back, I want to make a square. Then I want to color that square in. All right, from the front of the square, I want to make like the end of an arrow. It's going to go out towards his nose and back towards the tail. Good job. I have to do that again from the back of the square. So again, out towards his nose, back towards his tail. Connect that together at the bottom and color it in, and you've got a pair of blue jeans riding on a pony. Okay, I think my cowboy today is going to wear some red boots. So the first thing I want to do is start right here by the front of the jeans, and I'm going to go again like an arrow out towards the nose and back towards the tail. Okay, I'm going to color that triangle in. Okay, and then I might add a little heel on the end because most cowboy boots have a little heel to them. I can even come up here and make it look like a belt. Nice job. All right, my cowgirl is going to have on, how about, I'm making a cowgirl, so she's going to wear a pink shirt. So the next step is to start on the back of the square, and we don't want to go to the top of the paper because we need to leave room to add a head. So we only want to come about halfway up, a skinny little rainbow right back down, and color that in. Good job. Now to make our arms, we want to have 2. So the first thing we'll do is from the top of our rainbow, we'll kind of color in a little rectangle here. And from the bottom of the rainbow, I'm actually going to make like a V. And color it in to make the sleeves of my cowgirl's shirt. Come up on top and add an oval for the face. I'm going to add a little circle for each hand to be holding onto the reins. And oh my gosh, what cowgirl is complete without her cowgirl hat, right? So I'm going to come on top of my person's head. And first I make a line. It kind of cuts her head on half because her hat's on top of it. And color the top in. Nice. And I can get a black and give her an eye. And I can also come right here and make some reins that come to the horse's mouth. Yeah. I think I'll give her some red lips. And I think I will give my girl a brown braid with a red ribbon. Okay, so now I've colored in my horse and I've given a blanket to the rider, and I want to make sure I add in where the horizon line is. Where does the ground meet the sky? And in Mr. Ufer's picture, he had some purple mountains in the background, so I want to add those purple mountains. And even though they're in the desert, there was still some bushes, so I could draw in some cactus and little bits of grass, not a lot. Some people like to give their cactuses prickles. Color in my mountains now that I've drawn the cactus. talked about how the mountains in the distance from the desert look to be a purple color. Oh, and the ground in Mr. Hoover in the desert he's at, the ground is kind of an orange color, but the sky was so bright. Remember his favorite part about moving to the desert was how bright and open the sky was. So we want to make sure that we show in our picture the shadow that the pony is leaving on the ground. So don't forget the shadow underneath your horse. And it's not a white sky. There aren't many white skies outside, right? So I'm going to draw the clouds first, so I know to color around them, and the clouds will stay white. I can color my sky around the clouds. If I really want to make my sky look unique and special, then I can find, more than one color and get some color blending here. So even though I've already gone around it with the blue crayon, I could add onto that maybe another blue, and get a unique color that only my paper will have, and no one else will make that unique color. I can even add other colors into my blue to really give it a special time of day, In the morning, sometimes the sky is a little bit of a pinkish. Don't forget, one of the most important parts of our picture is our signature.